This movie was very underwhelming to say the least. The first one was obviously a masterpiece that was like never not entertaining. The second one was boring at times, but it was still a pretty decent sequel besides the whole weird romance thing with the girl they threw in for Rambo that ended almost immediately. This one, it was just kind of boring. And they reused like a lot of the plot from the second movie but switched it up a little bit. And they have all that cliche shit. I won't be too hard on it because it's an 80s movie, so it probably wasn't as cliche in that time. But they have the, oh, he's retired from doing insert whatever he was doing. And he gets brought back because a friend is in trouble. Which in this movie, his friend is the colonel who gets kidnapped on a job gone wrong. So he goes to save him. Doesn't really do much from there. Here's how Rambo acts in the first two movies. First one, he sets all these traps in the forest, non-lethal, to get the cops, because he respects cops. He doesn't want them to die unless they push him that far. And in the second movie, he's sneaky, only kills people if they're clearly in the way or if they spot him. And then when he actually does get caught, killing the shit out of him. It's interesting. Just going full on Rambo mode. And this one just kind of shoots guns. And there's explosions here and there. Definitely not as much explosions as there was in the second one. And for some reason, nothing against Sylvester Stallone. And there's nothing wrong with, not being as buff as you were for two whole movies. But in this movie, he just kind of looked like a little less buff. I don't know if it was just me. It was just something that distracted me for a few scenes. He has a new life, he's trying to help people, and then he gets brought back in to save the colonel. I think this is the first movie with the F-bomb. Like, all three of them are rated R, there's because of the violence and stuff like that. But they aren't really known for their cursing and stuff like that. And we get a scene that was probably the only thing I liked about this movie. After all the talk about how Colonel and Rambo are friends, they've worked together, stuff like that, we finally get a scene of them fighting. It doesn't last too long. They're just shooting people that surround them. And even that doesn't really have any stakes, unlike the previous movies. The second movie, when he gets caught, he's forced to give up, or him and the hostage he saved dies. In this movie, him and the colonel are trapped and they just kind of shoot their way out of it. And give off a line that I kind of liked, where they just, like, oh, what do we do? And Rambo's like, fuck him. And just, they go crazy and start killing him. Doesn't last too long, because we can't have the light shine on the colonel for even a few seconds. Rambo has to be the star of the show. Just wasn't the biggest fan of this movie. Definitely a very disappointing third installment.